funny how the second I decide to be just a little bit braver, the universe decides to unleash my worst nightmares onto me. Hi, my name is Hexa, and this is 365 Days Brave, the channel where we overcome anxiety one day at a time. And I suffer from generalized anxiety, agoraphobia, and emetophobia, which is the fear of vomiting, alongside some other very pleasant fears, phobias, and neuroses, which make my life very difficult at times. And this channel is all about trying to fight back against the fear and overcome those fears and live a fuller, happier life with more fun and spontaneous experiences. If you haven't watched the last video, this video is not gonna make much sense and it's gonna feel very long and drawn out and complicated, but try to follow along and I'll try to make as much sense as possible. So, I live with my mom and my sister, and my boyfriend lives in Hamburg. We live about 40-minute drive from each other. And I usually move back and forth between my place and my boyfriend's place. So I'll usually spend, like 1 or 2 weeks with my boyfriend and then 2 or 3 weeks at home and then back again. My boyfriend was set to leave for Sweden on the 30th of June by car, and I was gonna follow on the 7th of July by plane. But today's the 25th of June. I've already been, 7th of July is like 2 weeks away. I've been freaking out already about the 7th of July, have a bunch of stuff I need to get done, a bunch of stuff I need to finish, clothes that I wanted to order to try on to wear for the summer because I have nothing to wear for the summer, work stuff to do, hard drive to buy, I don't know, just lots of things going on. I was already stressed, already feeling like I was short on time. And then plans changed. So this is the timeline. 25th of June today, my boyfriend was gonna drive me back to my place and drop me off at home on the 27th of June. He was gonna leave on the 30th of June. I was gonna go to Sweden by plane on the 7th of July. But my mom has COVID. And the last time we all had COVID, we tested positive for like 10 days. So if I went back 2 days from now, then I would almost certainly get COVID and I would almost certainly still be sick by the time it was the 7th of July and time to go to Sweden. And so I would almost certainly miss my trip. So instead, it has been decided that I'm just gonna leave with my boyfriend on the 30th of June in the car. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have emetophobia or emetophobia, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a fear of vomit or a fear of throwing up. In my case, it's mostly a fear of me throwing up, although witnessing other people throwing up is also not my favorite thing. If I were to rate my level of fear from 0 to 10, 0 being no fear and 10 being the worst fear, flying to Sweden by myself was gonna be like a 6 or 7. Driving by car from Germany to Sweden, which is gonna be a 12-hour trip split into 4 and 8 hours across 2 days, that is like a level 11 worth of fear because I used to get motion sick in cars as a child and I used to throw up on cars regularly, like not in cars, but like on drives, I usually had enough self-control to not puke in the vehicle, but the point is, I haven't been on such a long drive since my age was in the single digits because I developed such a fear of motion sickness and car sickness specifically that I have avoided any long car ride. I won't do it. If I have to be in the car for longer than 2.5 hours to 3 hours absolute tops, I will simply not go. And this has been the case for like at least the past 6, 7, 8 years. I don't even know. I have flat out refused to be in a car for such a long time, for years. And now plans have changed. It's either go on the 12-hour car ride to Sweden or stay in Germany, probably get COVID, probably not go to Sweden at all, and, live with major regret. So, the universe conspired against me. It decided, hey, Hexa, a level 6 or 7 of fear was not enough. Let's give you an 11. Let's make you face your literal worst nightmare and stick you in a car for 12 hours. That'll be fun. Honestly, I mean, I was just saying earlier today before we found out that my mom had COVID that I wish I was staying in Sweden longer because I saw videos and photos of the Airbnb and it is absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I was staying longer so I can make more content because it's so aesthetic and so gorgeous there. And oh, what a wonderful place. So that's, you know, the bright side. I get to spend 1 week longer in Sweden than I was going to. On the other hand, I have to do something that terrifies me first. I guess the universe is just like, lols. If you can do this, Hexa, you can do anything. Maybe I'll come back from this trip and be cured. Another side of it was, you know, I was gonna fly to Sweden on the 7th by myself and fly back to Germany on the 20th also by myself. And I was like, okay, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. You know, going to Sweden was a practice run. If I don't panic and have a meltdown at the airport on the way to Sweden, then probably I won't panic and have a meltdown on the way back from Sweden. But now I don't get my practice run of leaving Germany on an airplane. So half of me is thinking, okay, well, I'm probably gonna have a meltdown at the Stockholm airport and not be able to get on the plane and not leave Sweden and be stranded and not be able to join my family on vacation in Romania a week later. Less than a week later, like 4 days later. Aside from which, I definitely don't know if any of the clothes that I ordered to wear for the summer are gonna arrive in time. I had a collaboration with a brand that was gonna send me a backpack, which I don't know if I can now get that backpack in time to make the video and do the collaboration before the deadline, because I'm gonna be out of the country for 3 weeks. I have to cancel my dentist appointment, which is not the worst thing, but that cavity has been really stressing me out. I have to dye my hair. I have to finish a bunch of video projects that I was working on. I'm really low on money, and I was hoping I would get a week to like hustle extra hard and make a little bit of extra before the trip. There's been a lot of heavy breathing and like a lot of freaking out, but you know, there's positive sides to this. And once I've accepted my fate, I will step into the feeling of the positive sides because I will have no other choice but to either look on the bright side or be absolutely miserable. But suffice to say, I'm struggling a little right now. I'm still in the struggling phase. But I guess all that is to say, when it rains, it pours. When you take a step in the right direction of facing your fears, the universe, I guess, sometimes decides to give you a nudge or a forceful shove. So, diving headfirst into the level 11 fear, I have been slightly unable to shake the feeling of feeling like I'm gonna throw up from panic and anxiety ever since I found out. But it's cool, it's chill, it's fine. I'm gonna go to the pharmacy, I'm gonna get me some Dramamine. I'm gonna get me some horse tranquilizer if I need to, just like fucking KO myself, knock myself out for the whole journey and not have to be conscious for any of it. That's not true. See, because there was one time in my childhood where I fell asleep on a plane and woke up and immediately threw up all over myself, and that was the only time I ever threw up on a plane. And so ever since then, I'm afraid that falling asleep in a potentially motion sickness inducing situation merely means that I'm gonna wake up and throw up all over myself, so I no longer trust myself to sleep on planes or cars or other vehicles. Okay, my camera battery died, so I had to stop moaning about my severe levels of anxiety, but that was the update, that was it. Welcome to 365 Days Brave. I guess we're jumping straight into it.